Hey everyone, InfiniteCaz here, and welcome back to another video. Today, I want to take a break from a bit of a negativity spree and talk about 5 things about Splatoon 3 that I really love. It's really easy to be negative online, and with Splatoon 3 certainly not being devoid of issues, ragging on about gripes I have is very easy, and I know YouTube audiences like it as well. However, some positivity can never go amiss, so I just want to talk about 5 things I genuinely think are great additions to the Splatoon franchise. With that being said, let's get right into it. I think the special weapon selection in all 3 Splatoon games are great, and the concept of special weapons in general adds so much depth and variety to gameplay. Luckily for Splatoon 3, I am of the opinion that the most recent selection of special weapons are the best we have seen. While we certainly have strong specials, in my view, none are as game-breaking as the ink armour, and the selection overall is very varied. From the great supportive Tacticooler to the hard-to-use but fun-to-master Zipcaster, all the new specials fit in well and are fun, yet sometimes challenging to master. The few returning specials, with the exception of Tentamissiles, I do really welcome. I think Inkjet and Inkstorm fit in really nicely, and seeing Booyah Bomb and Ultra Stamp get a new life in Splatoon 3 is brilliant, considering the weapons they were actually on in 2 were very limited. I really appreciate the addition of specials that are more than just a simple button press, and they involve either team coordination or real effort on your end. For example, the Killer Whale 5.1, which I do find a tad underwhelming, but it does have a good mechanic in having to aim it 3 separate times, which enhances its versatility, as well as distinguishing it from the Killer Whale from Splatoon 1. The Trizooka and the Kraken Royale are my favourite specials currently in the game, the latter being a post-launch addition, which I am really happy to see. But not to waffle for too long, I think the special variety is the best we have seen so far in the Splatoon franchise. Having a good overall selection, as well as them all being some degree of fun to use, which is why I decided to include them on this list. Any Table Turf Battle pros out there may be angrily writing a comment after this section, because to be honest, I have not played that much of this game mode, but it is fair to say I have had a lot of fun with the somewhat limited time I've spent with it. Table Turf Battle is a 1v1 board game that you need to craft a deck around to ink as much turf as possible. I won't go into the rules here, but once I got a grasp of them, I found the gameplay very enjoyable and strategic, making decks from cards that you personally collect that can provide the most synergy, either within a specific table or the variety of them, is probably my favourite part, and then playing said deck that perfectly fits together and gives you a load of special points to crush the opposition is such a great payoff. The mode, while being mostly offline, has a good range of NPCs to fight, many which are really challenging to beat. I am glad we can now play against friends, and while I certainly don't want to be negative, I really hope that a more in-depth form of online play can be added in the future. This would make the mode much more incentivising to play personally, but for me, Table Turf serves as a less intense game mode that I can play on the go or in my own bed, so it makes me have a reason to boot up Splatoon 3 in scenarios in which I wouldn't otherwise play, making it a great addition to the game overall. I am certainly a sucker for collectibles in any game I play. The satisfaction of obtaining dozens of little stickers and trinkets for decoration is just plain fun, and I think the way that Splatoon 3 handles this concept is pretty good. Like the previous games, there is a huge variety of weapons and gear to purchase, And while we are far from seeing all of the content Splatoon 3 will have, I think we still have a great selection of gear to collect. And the more unique and stylised clothes I am a huge fan of, as making good looking but unique sets is really fun and rewarding. However, in addition to gear, Splatoon 3 has banners, badges, and locker decorations to collect, done through a variety of ways, such as levelling up the season's catalogue, buying them in Hotlantis, and completing milestones in-game. For me, the badges are my favourite form of collectible, as each badge has a separate goal to unlock, such as reaching a rank, playing a weapon a certain amount, or using a certain shop enough. 3 of these can be displayed on your player banner, which gives you an opportunity to flex your shiny gold badge on your opponents. I like having certain goals you can work towards, as collecting a lot of these badges makes you try out different weapons and modes. For most people, a 5-star badge is a huge flex, and certainly rewarding to achieve after a lot of grinding. The other customization options are just really nice for personalization, and while I welcome their additions, I am not super crazy about them or anything. However, I know a lot of people really enjoy colour coordinating and tidying up their locker, and looking through my opponent's lockers is a simple pastime in the lobby, and quite fun I will admit. So I definitely can appreciate things that may not be as significant to how I play Splatoon, which is why this relatively minor feature for so many makes its way onto my list. I was never a huge fan of Salmon Run in Splatoon 2, but I will say playing Salmon Run in 3 has really shifted my opinion on the mode, and it's grown on me a lot. I think there are a few reasons, so let's go over what the Splatoon team did to make the game mode much more enjoyable overall. I think my favourite addition is more subtle, but it's just the increase in difficulty. Some of this is meant to help coincide with the introduction of the egg throw, which makes the mode more streamlined and team focused, but also easier to get higher egg counts. However, rank 999 is genuinely very hard to get to, and the hazard level goes all the way up to 333%, a very rewarding difficulty to beat for sure. It even earns you a fancy red badge. Then we have the introduction of new content, most significantly the limited time events, being Big Run and Extra Work, which make the game mode much more refreshing in my opinion. In addition, the Extra Wave is a fantastic new idea. Having to team up to kill a king salmonid after beating a normal shift gives that extra rush of adrenaline, and the rewards that you purchase through the scales, which are given from playing in the Extra Wave, give you motivation to kill as many king salmonids as possible. I mean, who doesn't want to flex their fancy worksuit? More generally, there's a good increase in content within the mode, from the great new maps to the new bosses, and greater variety of specials present. So to summarise, I think Salmon Run Next Wave just does a really solid job on building on the great foundation in Splatoon 2, introducing new mechanics and content that shake things up while staying true to what made Salmon Run so popular. So this final point is about how I feel that many processes in the game have been simplified, or just made easier from Splatoon 2 to 3. A lot of the time within game design, the smaller things can really add up, and help make a game more enjoyable to play. For me, things like being able to skip the news and warm up while queuing for a game are just so nice to have. And going back to Splatoon 2, you really miss these features. This extends further to features like freshest fits, battle replays built into the game, which admittedly I don't use that often, but they are really welcome to have regardless. I certainly think that a great sequel should focus on these smaller details that make the game more enjoyable overall. And while this game is far from perfect, You can tell that a lot of thought went into adding these small features to improve certain aspects of gameplay, which is why I wanted to mention this category of features, even if it is just a passing mention. So that's my list of 5 things, or more accurately, categories of things, that I think are a brilliant addition into Splatoon 3. What things about Splatoon 3 do you love? Be sure to let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed, so please like and subscribe. We are really close to 2,000 subs, and I would love to have you here. With that out of the way, I will see you all next time. Bye!